Epic mountain drives, soaring views above glacier-carved valleys, then a sudden shift to bright lights, unique Alaskan sights, and must-try fair food. It's Hatcher Pass meets the State Fair opening. Welcome, viewers, to episode 13 of our epic Alaskan RV adventure. We're going to take you to experience Hatcher Pass and the Independence Mine, and then we'll visit opening night of the Alaska State Fair. We're moving from Palmer, about 60 miles northeast, to a wonderful Boondocker's welcome host on Florence Lake. A crisp morning marks moving day here in Palmer. Our time at Springer Campground comes to an end as we set our course for a Boondocker's welcome host near Willow. Before we hitch up the Imagine, Dang takes the truck out for a necessary run, gas and propane to keep us self-sufficient on the road ahead. While getting fuel, she meets Brent, who quickly spots our camera gear. Figuring out we document our travels, he kindly helps load the heavy propane tanks. Always appreciate meeting helpful people. Thanks, Brent. With fuel and propane taken care of, Dang arrives back with the truck. Now for the familiar routine, backing up and carefully getting the rig securely hitched. Checks complete, we pull out of the Springer Campground. Next stop on our Alaskan journey, a Boondocker's welcome host near Florence Lake. We really enjoyed our time back at the Springer RV Park and Campground in Palmer, and we would have liked to stay longer. However, with the Alaska State Fair about to begin, popular campgrounds like that get completely booked up, often many months in advance. Definitely something to keep in mind for your own Alaska RV planning. Reserve sites early, particularly during peak times or events like the fair. Fortunately, our search led us to a Boondocker's welcome spot right on Florence Lake near Willow, only about 60 miles west of Palmer. As we arrive, we see our hosts, Ann and Dave, are just finishing some roofing work, clearly getting the property ready for the coming winter. This Boondocker's welcome location turns out to be exceptional, truly one of the nicest private stays we've experienced. The site is positioned right on the shores of Florence Lake, and the hosts generously offer electric and water hookups, available for a donation if needed. Ann and Dave are incredibly generous. They even offered to take us out on their boat, conveniently moored right here to see the area from the lake. Unfortunately, our work schedules don't quite line up during our stay, so we have to pass this time. It really looks like it would be a fantastic way to explore the lake. For Boondocker's welcome members in this part of Alaska, we definitely recommend Ann and Dave's place on Florence Lake. It's a wonderful stay and they offer great local advice. Today, we're driving out to explore Hatcher Pass, thanks to a great recommendation from our friends Steve and Jane at Golden Anniversary Adventure. It's about a 55-mile trip from our spot near Willow, and we're excited to see this renowned Alaskan landscape. The drive up towards the pass is incredibly scenic. We wind along beside the Little Susitna River, and the lush green landscape immediately around us offers a vibrant contrast to the rugged mountains rising against the sky all around us. We're also passing numerous trailheads branching off along the road. Oh, to have the time to hike every one of them. As we ascend up into the Talkeetna Mountains, we see the landscape is predominantly Alpine tundra. You don't find many trees up here because of the high elevation. We're above the natural tree line, where the extremely short growing season and low average temperatures make it impossible for trees to survive. And now we make the turn onto the Hatcher Pass Road itself. Although it changes to an unpaved surface here, the dirt road appears quite well maintained. Reaching the upper elevations near the pass summit, we find a large parking area, and it's quite busy today. This must be the access for Summit Lake and likely some popular trails heading higher up. Clearly a major draw. We'll bypass the busy summit parking area and continue our drive down into the valley carved by Willow Creek. With no trees this high, the mountains are completely covered in this thick, intensely green tundra, creating an almost surreal, otherworldly scene. We're coming to a little pullout beside the road, and this gives us an idea. You guessed it, let's get a bird's eye view of this wondrous landscape. It's technically possible, only in mid-summer, usually July through mid-September, to follow this valley west along Willow Creek all the way back to the park's highway near Willow. But it's a much longer, rougher dirt road drive, not recommended for RVs, and the pass connection is closed the rest of the year. That's why most people, like us, explore Hatcher Pass primarily from the more accessible Palmer side, especially outside of that short summer window. We spot a few RVs down in the valley, although it's unclear if overnight camping is actually permitted right along the road here. Getting an RV over the pass involves a challenging drive, but for those who manage and find a legal spot, the boondocking potential in this landscape is incredible. If you happen to know the specifics on dispersed camping regulations right in this particular area, please let us know in the comments. We're going to take the truck up onto this higher section above the road. Clearly, while offering outstanding views, it's only suitable for high-clearance vehicles like ours. Definitely not somewhere you would want to tow a trailer. But if you could get the right setup up here, wow, what a place this would be to wake up in the morning. With these views and the gentle burbling of the Willow Creek as your soundtrack, this would be sheer heaven. We're gonna head back over the pass now. There's something on the other side we still want to explore. Well, there's our answer about towing. Someone's doing it right now, coming down the summit stretch. It confirms it's possible, but definitely requires patience and careful driving. And now we're back at Summit Lake. It seems unusual to find a lake so close to a mountain summit, but this is what geologists call a cirque lake or a tarn. It occupies a basin scooped out by glacial ice eroding the rock near the top of the pass thousands of years ago. When the glacier eventually melted away, water filled the hollow, leaving this unusual feature behind. The thin mountain air and the steep climb really put an engine to the test, and finding assistance this remote is never simple or cheap. Fortunately, it looks like a couple of other vehicles have already stopped to assist. Back on the Palmer side of Hatcher Pass now, pulling up towards the Independence Mine. By this time of day, the pay station here is closed, unfortunately. The only access from here is via foot. It's not a far distance to walk, but we have another idea. Those distinctive red cabins belong to the Hatcher Pass Lodge, offering year-round rentals. Winter here is all about skiing and other snow activities, while in the summer the focus shifts to hiking and exploring. Below us lies Fishhook Creek, carving its way down from the high country of the pass before eventually joining the Little Susitna River. While the main access to the Independence Mine historic site seems to follow the road, we can clearly see there's also a separate footpath that heads up there as well. Looking down at these buildings, it's crazy to realize this remote spot, high above the tree line, was a bustling community in the 1930s and 40s, home to over 200 people. This was a major hard rock gold mine, eventually producing 140,000 ounces. It closed after World War II and is now preserved as a state park, offering a fascinating glimpse into that challenging life. Oh, and did I mention that many of those roughly 200 who lived in this town were there year-round? Can you imagine how incredibly challenging that life must have been, especially through the long Alaskan winters? Our advice if you plan to visit Hatcher Pass, make sure you arrive at Independence Mine with plenty of daylight left to really walk around and explore these fascinating buildings up close. Alright, time for us to head back to the trailer now. Tomorrow is another work day for us, and we also have something special planned for that evening. Well, good morning. As mentioned, today's a work day, and we're going to focus on the computer. But we've got serious motivation, because later on, we're heading straight to Palmer for the opening night of the Alaska State Fair. Now we're making the drive across Palmer to the fair. We were a bit apprehensive about potential traffic given it's Friday afternoon and opening night, but thankfully it doesn't seem to be an issue at all. Good signage directs us right towards the fairgrounds, making it quite straightforward to find the designated parking area. Well, so much for beating the crowds. Clearly, opening night of the Alaska State Fair is the place to be. That said, it's well organized and we are efficiently directed to an available parking spot. And parking in the general lots is free here, as opposed to some fairs we've been to. That's a nice gesture. A short walk from the truck brings us to the ticket booth. Tickets are $19 each for adults, which seems quite reasonable, considering the size and scope of the fair. walk into the fair proper, anticipation grows. We've heard of a few must-stop booths here, and being hungry already, we feel lucky to spot one of them right away. We'd heard the legendary spinach bread from Talkeetna was a must-try, but we knew unfortunately we wouldn't make it to Talkeetna on this leg of the trip. So imagine our delight finding that their booth is right here at the fair. And honestly, it absolutely lives up to the hype. Definitely worth it. As we walk further into the fair, we notice many vendor booths look like permanent year-round structures, unlike typical temporary setups. The result is noticeably higher quality of construction than we often see at state fairs. And naturally, like any great state fair, the variety down these aisles is incredible. You've got purveyors offering everything imaginable: local crafts, clothing, gadgets, artwork, tools, you name it. Alongside all that merchandise, the aroma of fair food fills the air, with options seemingly from every corner of the globe tempting us at every turn. That line says it all. Alaskans need their coffee. And here's a modern twist on an Alaskan photo op. Get your picture taken with a sled dog. That's not actually here. It looks like they virtually stitched them into the photo afterwards, as far as I can tell. As we wander through these bustling aisles, taking in all the sights and sounds, it's worth remembering just how significant the Alaskan State Fair is. It's evolved over the decades into the state's largest annual gathering, drawing hundreds of thousands of people here to Palmer each year. Its roots actually go back to 1936, started by pioneers here in the Matanuska Valley when Alaska was still a U.S. territory. Organized by the local Grange, it coincided with the Matanuska Colony Project, that Depression-era effort bringing farming families north. The fair was initially a way for them to showcase their agricultural success in this new land. Of course, you can't really talk about the Alaska State Fair without mentioning the giant vegetables. Thanks to the unique growing conditions and incredibly long summer daylight hours in the valley, local growers produce some astonishingly large produce. The annual giant cabbage weigh-off is world famous. Scott Robb set the record at 138 pounds. Held towards the end of August and spilling into September, the fair serves as a kind of traditional last hurrah for many Alaskans. One final big celebration bringing people together before the short summer gives way to the long winter ahead. Ooh, what's this? Seafood? Alaska? Now that sounds good. The staff here is clearly having a great time. Honestly, seeing that much genuine enthusiasm makes us feel like we have to try what they're serving. We decide on the halibut pita sandwich with fries. The wait is short. In just a few minutes, our order is up, clearly fresh and straight from the fryer. We've never actually tried a halibut pita sandwich, so this is new. Judging purely by how good it looks and smells right now, we have high hopes. It's absolutely delicious. Freshly made like that, it really hits the spot. There are so many incredible food choices around here, it's almost overwhelming. We need to make a strategic retreat and head over towards the exhibit halls before we get completely sidetracked by snacks. Of course, we'd love to see those famous giant vegetables, though we have a feeling they might arrive later during the fair's run. It makes sense. They need to maximize every single long summer day to reach those incredible sizes. We've checked out the livestock barns and agriculture exhibits, but sure enough, no giant vegetables on display this early in the fair. Just as we thought, they must still be growing. Hey, there's a sign for an ATM up ahead, and we actually have been needing to get some more cash. And this brings us to another tip for those of you planning to visit Alaska. Make sure your bank ATM cards are set up to work in this state. Ours didn't, at least not at these particular machines here at the fair. That was a fun detour visiting the Alaska State Fair. It actually wasn't on our planned itinerary, but being nearby for opening night, we felt it too good of an opportunity to miss. Before we head back, there's one more essential stop. Three Bears, Alaska. We keep seeing these stores around the state, but this is our first time actually going in. Since we know shopping options near Denali, our next big destination will be limited. It definitely has a bit of a warehouse feel inside, maybe less polished than some stores, but the prices look quite reasonable. Best of all, they seem to carry just about everything we need for stocking up, which makes this really convenient. All stocked up, and we're ready to head north to Denali tomorrow. We appreciate you watching our Hatcher Pass and State Fair adventures. A like and a subscribe to our channel really helps us keep filming. Thanks for watching.